Hello, everyone. I want to start this voiceover by telling you I'm in a great mood. And when I'm in a great mood, I'm sassy. I'm a sassy lady. Don't know why. I just am. And I'm slightly obnoxious, probably more than slightly. I don't know how to describe it, but when I feel pretty in a pretty jazzy type of mood, this is how I am, and I'm pretty jazzy. So hopefully you don't mind. If you do, then don't watch. But anywho, I mean I could tone down the sass, but then that would just ruin my mood, and I'm really happy today. Kids were at school. All the kids were at school. It was a long weekend. They were all home for 4 days. Because Friday they didn't have school and Monday they didn't have school because of President's Day. Um, but last week I had one kid home for most of the week except for one day because she was sick. And the week before I had a kid home for 2 days because he was sick, all with the flu. And then on top of that, I was sick with the flu. And so I didn't really feel like doing much. And when I started my channel, I had the best intentions. I was like, I'm going to do 3 videos a week. That's not too much, that's not too little. I want to keep it very I want to pick a time, which I actually never did pick an actual time that I was going to put it out, but I did pick days, and it was going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So far, I have missed 2 Tuesdays. I'm going to have this up on today, which is Wednesday, which I actually had the video done Tuesday. I just had to do the voiceover. I had to do the editing, but I didn't get it done in time because it was almost 12 o'clock, and I have to get up at 5:30. And when doing so, if I don't get at least 6 hours of sleep, I become an asshole. Okay, that's the best I can tell you. I'm not sassy. I'm just a straight asshole, and that's what I am. So, with that being said, I, try to get my 6 hours because I don't want to be a jerk to my kids every morning. So, I try to get my at least 6 hours of sleep. So, I didn't get my video yesterday. And I'm going to still get, I'm still trying to get 3 videos up this week. So, either I'll do 2 today, I might do 2 tomorrow, or I might do 1 tomorrow and 1 the next day. We'll see how it goes. But this week, there will be 3 up. And right now in the video, let's move to the actual art and less of the chatter. I am just using paper, pencil, and my T-square ruler. I'm proud of myself because I knew what it was called. Anywho, using those things, and I am drawing mandalas behind a girl. And I draw a lot of girls. At the end of this video, you're going to see another picture of a girl. It's not the greatest, but it was my first time using the markers, the alcohol-based markers, which you will see me use in this video. And that's the reason why I made this art, because I wanted to use the alcohol-based markers that I bought from the art store. I don't know how they compare to Copics because they are not Copics. His Copics are a buttload of money that I don't have. But I really wanted to use alcohol-based markers, and well, they were there, and I got them, and I enjoy them. They probably aren't as good as Copics, but who the hell cares? As long as they did what I wanted them to do, that's all I need, right? Anywho, so I basically used the did this to use the markers, and at the end, like I said, I have another picture of the first girl that I drew and painted. I mean colored in with the Studio 71 markers. Uh, Again, probably not the best because their paint is like their student paint that they have isn't the. I mean, it's not the worst. I mean, I use either those or Liquitex Basics. I mean, they really. I don't see a difference in the two, to be honest. So yeah, there's that. Other than like their colors, like the colors may vary a little bit, but yeah. Other than that, I mean, I like them both. So, and they're cheap, and they're just something good to use when you don't have enough experience with something. Like when it comes to art, I've like I've been drawing since I like but I've only been drawing with like graphite pencils and paper. And when it comes to other materials like alcohol based markers and paints, I've only been using acrylic paints for 2 years. I just started using um, the markers this week, and I also use soft pastels in here. And I just this is the first time I opened the box up to use on this picture. Um, so I don't really know like a lot of different techniques and what the name of the techniques I'm using. I basically when I'm doing art and I sit down at the piece of paper and I'm thinking, I usually start off by drawing something in graphite, and then when I want to paint it, I paint over that graphite. I don't put a layer in between, which I know you should because the graphite can bleed into the paint. But I usually don't see a reason why it doesn't bother me. To me personally, the graphite bleeding into the paint really doesn't bother me because I end up covering it up eventually anyway. Because I do kind of do layers. They start off with thin layers. I do like a thin layer of paint because I'm usually painting on paper. Now, if I was painting on an actual canvas, I wouldn't do such thin layers because I would have more underbinding and all that. And underbinding is when you have too much water with your paint and you don't have enough of the polymers to grip the paint to grip the canvas, and it'll lift in certain spots, which I've learned by actually doing it and by watching other artists talk about it. So that's one thing I learned by watching other people do, but I also learned just by playing with it and seeing what it does on it for myself. Like here in this picture, like I said, I was using alcohol based markers. So I assumed if I got alcohol, like rubbing alcohol, um, I could, in a Q-tip, I could smudge or blend out the marker. Like if I had a colorless blender, which I really should get a colorless blender, but needless to say, I thought that it would work out great. And it probably would have if it wasn't also smudging my fine liner, which was a Prisma color fine liner. I don't know if it's the fine liner that's the problem or if it's the markers that the problem is having, because like I don't know what it is, or if I just use way too much alcohol. I don't know. I would need to get more fine liners to find out if all of them do the same thing or if it's just them. And if anyone who watches this knows fine liners that don't smudge at, like really bad, let me know in the comments. But so like with here, like I was saying, so I used the Q-tip with alcohol to see if I could blend out the thing into, the white of the paper, which didn't work out as great as I was hoping. For one, the alcohol Q-tip had so much alcohol in it that it dropped a droplet on her face. And when doing so, it moved the pigment around and she had a big circle on her cheek. And that's not what I was going for. So I had to fix that. I did fix it and it did look good in the end. But I found that that was kind of a cool effect that it did. So then I got another piece of paper and I colored a bunch of different colors on it. And I used a buttload of alcohol on it to see what would happen, or not see what would happen. I knew what was going to happen, but just to see that effect multiplied on a piece of paper. And I liked how it came out, and I'm going to use that piece of paper to do a mandala on today, which is what I'm hoping to be able to post. Maybe 2 mandalas if you're lucky, because I did it on 2 different papers, a different style. But anywho, so we'll see. We will see how this goes. But that was one thing I learned just from playing with the materials and making a boo-boo, and like, wow, I kind of like that boo-boo. Not on this picture, but on another picture maybe. Oh, and more about the soft pastels. Never use pastels, oil pastels, soft pastels, any kind of pastels, chalk pastels. I don't know. There's like all kinds of pastels. Never used them, but I liked them. I really did. I used it on top of this, so I'm probably, to make sure they don't smudge or, lift off of the paper, I'm probably going to have to spray a clear fixative, yeah, I think that's what, yeah, on top of it so that they don't go nowhere, so that the colors don't move in spots that I don't want them to. But yeah, I still like them, and I'm probably going to use them more. But speaking of them, I did a boo-boo. Well, it's not really a boo-boo. I just did a no-no. And when I was using them, I was using my fingers to smudge them out, which you shouldn't do because your fingers have natural oils on them. And then when you do that, you put the natural oils on your picture. I don't see what the problem is with that. It's my natural oils. I just like want a piece of me on the picture maybe. I don't know what it does, to be honest. I just know they say you shouldn't do it. I don't know, maybe it messes up the archival? That's not a word. The archival, there we go, I got the word out. High five me, please. Anyhow, now I can't say it again, you know what I'm saying. The archivalness of this of the picture, maybe that's what it does, but I don't care, because if it's not around after I'm dead, then you know what, it's fine. Someone might have enjoyed it before I died, so that's what really matters, I mean, and maybe they enjoyed it a little bit after I died, and then then they ended up having to throw it away because it was a piece of crap after that, but it's still great while I'm here. So, I mean, I still tried not to, because when I realized I was doing it, I was like, I really shouldn't be doing this. It's putting my grease all over the picture. Nobody wants my greasy hands all over the picture like that. So, I try to use a paper towel, but the paper towel just wasn't doing me justice. It was actually annoying me because it was too big. It wasn't getting in all the little nooks and crannies of things that I wanted it to get into. So then I was like, I'm a genius. Go get some Q-tips. And I have some Q-tips on my art table because of that very thing. But lo and behold, I couldn't find said Q-tips on my art table. They're probably on my art table, but they're probably under a crap ton of art supplies. and papers of art papers. So I was like, what do I do? Do I go all the way upstairs to get Q-tips? I was sitting there and I was like, what do I do? And then I was like, genius, there's some Q-tips on the computer table across the room. So you'll see me get up and I'll disappear for a minute and you'll be like, where'd she go? I'm getting Q-tips. Even though I did most of this artwork with my fingertips, even after I got the Q-tips, I kept using my fingertips like a dummy. But I still got them. I still tried it. It worked. I probably should have kept using them, but I kept forgetting. And at that point, my hand had already been all over it. Let's talk about the hair. I have good and bad days. Good and bad hair days. Physically and figuratively. Probably not figuratively. But anyway, I have good and bad hair days. Drawing and in real life. Today's a okay hair day. It's just normally put in a really messy bun. But when I'm drawing, sometimes I have great hair days and they look beautifully flossy hair. That hair is on fleek. But that yesterday I was not having the greatest of hair days, or the day before that. It's probably because I'm not really used to the markers, so I was also having trouble figuring out how to make fine lines with these markers because, well, they're brush pens and I don't really do good with brush pens. But with that being said, I did take a picture at the end, and at the end the picture looks horrible. Her hair looks horrible. Look at that. But I think it's more the camera and the lighting. But what can I say? If you enjoyed the video, please comment, subscribe, like. But if you didn't, thanks for watching anyway. Bye. I'll see you on my next video.